every quality that's needed, because that next president of Nigeria is going to be someone who is fit, is going to be someone who is knowledgeable about everything.
Join Sahid Fuad every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Political Roundtable as he brings up the controversies, policymakers, topical issues, and all that matters in the political space. Political Roundtable. Let's talk politics. Let's talk Nigeria.
Stop paying attention to the hustle and bustle of Lagos. Take a chill pill.
Problem in the feeling. Calm down. Holiday to Mozambique. Follow me go to Mozambique.
On the Switch, we're the perfect guide to your destination. Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
All right, it's time for Political Roundtable on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Sahid Fuad, of course, the show where we talk politics and talk Nigeria. The table is full this evening. I am sure we're going to have a very robust conversation, very robust, engaging, and of course, intellectual conversation as we look at the major issues happening in our political space at this time in Nigeria. We have two major issues on the table for consideration this evening. Two very important issues in the political space. We will be looking at this evening on the show. It's going to be a balanced conversation, balanced, engaging conversation this evening. Like I said, the house is full. The table is full. We have Barrister Curtis Adigba, who is a political consultant and a public affairs analyst, already seated with us in the studio this evening. Good evening, Barrister Curtis Adigba.
Good evening, listeners.
All right. We also have Oni Olalekon. He's a member of the APC. And I think he does a lot of youth engagement for the APC around the Ikeja constituency. He's also a public affairs analyst. I'm sure in the last 5 days or more, he's been close to, I think I've lost count. It should be about more than 50 radio stations where he's been speaking on behalf of the APC. And he said, look, I want to be on the table with you guys this evening to also engage, Nigerians as far as the policy of the APC is concerned at this time. Good evening, Mr. Onyola. It's nice to have you on the studio this evening. All right, yes, this is not your first time. I think it's like the third time you'll be joining us on the show. We have Nuruddin Adegbero joining us this evening on Political Roundtable. Nuruddin Adegbero is a journalist and a public affairs analyst. Nice to have you in the studio, Nuruddin Adegbero.
Well, good evening, and good evening to our listeners.
All right, we're also going to try and connect with Joseph Folorunsho via the phone line. Like I said, it's a complete package. It's a full house. So he will be joining us via the phone this evening. That is Joseph Folorunsho. But let's just go straight to business. We have two issues for consideration on the roundtable this evening. As usual, we're streaming the show live. You can join us via Facebook and YouTube on our social media platform, Mainland 98.3 FM. Just join us on Facebook since we're streaming the show live, and you can also join us via our YouTube handle, Mainland 98.3 FM. Again, you can drop your contributions, your comments on the two platforms. I will sure to take all of the comments this evening. The two issues for consideration this evening, we have Tinubu's ministerial list. Eventually, the list is out, and we're going to be looking at the major talking points, the major issues around that ministerial list. And the talking points for me that we're going to be dissecting will be whether there are any surprises, whether there's any name there that would surprise my political analyst in the studio, whether, this name should have been there, or, well, this was a surprise, or maybe there are really no surprises. These were names that we expected to feature. The other issue will be whether this is a balanced list. Again, here the constitution says 36 states, but in terms of gender balance, what do we have to say? The constitution talks about, I think, nothing less than 20% of the ministerial nominations should be women, and we need to ask ourselves, do we have a balanced list as far as this list is concerned, gender, national spread, and what have you. The other one is the issue of conversation around technocrats or career politicians. Whether whatever we have in the 28-man list is majorly that of technocrats, career politicians, or is there a balance between the two? Whether you can have what you can call techno politicians, if you permit me to use that word. There's also going to be conversations around names submitted without portfolio attached to them. A lot of analysts are thought that, look, we're going to have something different from what we are used to, where names of ministerial nominees are submitted to Senate for confirmation and screening without portfolio. A lot of Nigerians had hoped that for the first time we will be seeing something different, but that did not happen. And of course, that's been raising some eyebrows. There are conversations also around that. And then, of course, we have the issue of some names. You know, there have been a lot of speculations in the political space as to who can become what. As far as ministers are concerned, of course, people are speculating on contributions to the party, on qualification, on a whole lot of issues. You know, I've been around who should ordinarily have appeared on that list. In another space, as people saying the list is the first batch. Some said it's even the merit list, and that whatever list that is coming out now is the supplementary list. Maybe, you know, people that did not score up to the required point. You know, but whatever it is, there are some names that are missing. I'm sure Mr. Oni will be so much interested in why James Falike is not on that list, what is called the merit list. But we're going to have conversations around that. And then, of course, merger and creation of new ministries. There are already reports that we may not be having ministers of state. You know, Festus Keyamo, after enjoying that position, had said that it was an aberration, it was unconstitutional. So maybe the president this time has decided to do away with ministers of state. But there are also reports that he will be unbundling some ministries to create new ones, and then maybe accommodate more ministers. So those are going to be the talking points on the first issue on the table this evening. The second one, we're going to delve deep into this because it's just purely politics, and we are looking at the name of Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State, the leader of the G5, and the PDP. And the question would be whether it was a betrayal or what you can call smart politics. There are people within the PDP who have said that, look, he had always betrayed the party, he was anti-party, he betrayed the PDP and Atiku and all of that. But there are also people who are saying that, look, it's about interest. That's the way politics is played. And what he did was just playing smart politics. We are going to ask ourselves whether it was betrayal or just basically smart politicking from Nyesom Wike, the former governor of Rivers State. Well, we have the list already, and I don't think it will make any sense for us to waste time giving out the names of nominees. We already know them and their states. I think the states that are not captured so far are just 11. Majorly 11 states that are not captured, and that would be Adamawa, Bayelsa, Gombe, Kano, Kebbi, Kogi, Lagos, Nasarawa, Osun, Yobe, and Zamfara State. So I think that captures it all. But let's just go straight to business. I'm going to start with you, Barrister Curtis Adigba. May I beckon on you to get close to the microphone so that, you know, our listeners can hear you clearly. We'll start with the first issue. Any surprises in the list for you? Or, you know, nothing surprised you? This was all you expected, really?
Well, I don't know quite a number of people there.
Okay.
So to that extent, you could say that maybe I was surprised. But again, when you look at, you drill down on that list, you will find out that most of them, or some of them, were governorship candidates of APC in the states that they lost. And of course, you know, they have to be compensated one way or the other. If there was any surprise at all, I was just wondering why he had to go through that route of appointing some people as special assistant first, getting them cleared in the Senate, you understand, and then appointing them, and then appointing them as ministers. As ministers. And I think the other one too, which of course I wouldn't say I'm surprised about, but again indicates how people lobby for things that they actually don't need. I don't understand why a senator who fought so hard to win an election, we want to go and become a
The
minister.
minister.
As a minister, you hold your position at the pleasure of your president. As a senator, you have a guaranteed tenure of 4 years. And to be a senator anywhere in the world, look, it happens all over the world. I mean, Jeff Sessions, senator from Alabama, became the Attorney General of President Trump.
Trump, yeah.
But of course, they fell out quickly, and the man had to lose his position. He went back again to try and get back to the Senate, and he lost to a Trump-supported guy. So I'm saying to myself, why would Umahi fight to be in the Senate in the first place? Ministerial position was something he was guaranteed from day one.
I could have just stayed back and waited
So
for.
why didn't he leave that for someone else to go to the Senate? Why he gets this? Now, people do not understand this, but INEC will have to go back and conduct a supplementary election and then spend money in the process.
Public funds too. We have to
The
go
money we're talking about that is scarce in the country. Do you understand? So maybe those names that popped up on the list, because I wasn't surprised about some of the ex-governors that were on the list. I knew they were going to be there.
Nasser El-Rufai.
Even though he had said he didn't want to be minister and all that, but
At this age, getting a ministerial position.
Badru is almost his age. Badru is 62.
Yeah.
And Badru is not saying so. I mean, so on the whole, I wouldn't say I was surprised. Because, if you notice, if you know the role some of these guys played. But the only surprise, and that is why I wouldn't call it a full surprise now, is that I thought that whatever metric was used, Festus Keyamo ought to have been on the list.
On the merit list.
On the merit, if it's merit.
on the first list.
If it is merit
or not.
if it is propaganda list, whatever list it is, Festus Keyamo ought to have been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a surprising
That's
part
a
of it for you.
surprise.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Femi Fanika-Ode
Femi Fanika-Ode, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
also ought to have been there.
Have you forgotten Bayo Ononuga? Do you think he should have made the first
these guys
list?
played different roles. Bayo was in the campaign. He was the spokesperson of Asiwaju for that campaign. Okay, so you could say, well, and then, but Festus Keyamo was actually the face of the campaign. You understand? Festus was the one who went into battle with
Going into
the
the trenches and
even as a sitting minister, he was attacking his president to defend his candidate. So I mean, I thought his name would be on that list. Femi Fanika-Ode, of course, again was also fighting so hard. Attacking everybody left, right, and center, calling people names and all that. He fought so hard for the campaign. Whether he's trusted, given his antecedent, is another issue.
But you are surprised that these names did not appear on the first list.
Appear on that list. I'm also surprised that Falake did not appear on that list.
Falake.
Because he was the one that we thought to be the chief of staff. Because if you understand, he was the engine room of that campaign. He was the secretary of that campaign. Right from the get-go. So it's possible the president has got something much more important for him because he didn't become speaker based on the zoning arrangement. He didn't become chief of staff. He didn't even become deputy chief of staff. Which would have been a step for him. But I think it's because it's in the House of Reps. President probably will have a better
maybe there's something bigger waiting for him.
Yeah, using him in the house, not to be a power broker in the house, and trying to see how things can work for the president.
All right, Mr. Oni. You of course you are familiar with the list. Any surprises for you?
Well, politically, let me say this. I'm familiar with the political terrain in Ondo State. And the nominee from Ondo State was a very big surprise.
The nominee from Ondo State, yeah, okay. Olubumi Ojo, the young man, yeah.
It's a very big surprise, yes. Very big surprise for the people of Ondo State.
Why are they surprised? It's their own. It was one of their own.
The reason is because the names that were submitted by the party, in fact, maybe BTO was just last of the names. In fact, people were expecting that Akekemeke.
Okay.
Will make the list.
Was it the governor's candidate, Jojo?
Well, the issue in Ondo,
governors got their ways.
But I'm sure that BTO is Olubumi Tunji Ojo.
Tunji Ojo, the young man, yeah.
So it wasn't. in good terms with the governor presently, and you know the governor is away, he's not around. So I think, and a lot of people have been saying that because he's Baja's boy, B2 is Baja's boy.
Okay, that's this chief of staff's boy. Okay.
So they were all surprised.
Was the list changed or somewhere?
No, it wasn't
on
changed.
in transit?
Okay, the name that was submitted, B2 was part of it. You know, the way it works is that states will submit names. Parties, state, and all of that. Maybe 2-3 names depending on the states. And you know, so people were expecting that, okay, because from what we had, Kekemeke went for DSS screening. So his caucus were even,
since he could be presented for DSS screen and all that, yeah.
So people were already jubilating that we didn't want to be picked and all of that. And when the name came out, B2, everybody was very surprised in Ondo State. And like you rightly said, some of us are still very surprised that Falike's name didn't come up. But we are still very hopeful because we didn't see Kogi State, and we know that and Abiru, we're expecting that Abiru, because there were
that's in Lagos,
rumors, yes, in Lagos, there are rumors filtering around that Abiru will become the Minister of Finance. In fact, if you remember when the president went to France, Abiru was part of the delegate that went
with him,
So everybody was expecting that his name would come out in the first list and all of that, but we are still hopeful.
Wale was also there.
Yes, it was.
He was in that delegation.
Yes, so we are expecting that when the final list will come
Abiru would should. Okay, maybe these names will.
And Falike will be among the names that are coming out. I'm not too surprised that Femi Fanikawade wasn't part of the list. I'm sure that I don't think Ashwadi will want to use Femi Fanikawade, and even this man, Festus Keyamo. I had a feeling before that Festus Keyamo will be part of the administration. I don't know why. I think Ashwadi is trying to not recruit some of majority of those people that the past cabinet and all of that. So I wasn't expecting to see Femi Fanikawade, and there was so much power play. Just like we all knew, the lobby was so intense and all of that. If I said that the reason why the list was delayed was because of the power play, the lobby, and all of that. If you look at it, after the names were announced, the man from Edo State and Stella Okotete, was the nominee from Delta State.
From Delta State.
Went to greet Adams Oshomole. That has
because from Delta to have gone to Suisi Adams Oshomole.
That has a whole lot of meaning. And Ibori too. So I'm sure that Ibori also had
a role to play.
And all of that. So, and one of the things we must be, we must take cognizance of is that Ashwadi also promised that in his manifesto that he will field in young people in his cabinet.
I think he did that, yeah.
Yes, from the SA to the ministerial list. If you look at the Stella Okotete is 38.
38, yeah.
This woman from Cross River,
Better 36.
BTO is 41. Then
Musawa, yeah.
She's 43.
In her early 40s, yeah.
Early 40s. So I think that also played some role in the
choosing of these persons.
Yes.
Okay, well, in terms of missing names,
with the ladies on the list, he got the age right. But with the men,
what's he going to talk about the men? In terms of missing names, I did a list. I did a list. I was just scanning through reports and, of course, speculations from political watchers and all of that. I'm surprised that Senator Chimaroke Namani from Enugu State, because again, he was somebody that was very clear. Even though he was a member of the PDP, he was very clear about who he was supporting during the elections. I was also hoping that Aishatu Binani, Dairo Binani from Adamawa State, but then she could still just hold on to this while hoping that things will go well for her in court. Kayode fired me from Ekiti State. That was also a major shocker.
It was out
Dele Alake making the list ahead.
It was out there that he was lobbying so hard to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And then his lobbying had a lot of traction. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe again, don't forget that before the nomination contest, Fayemi also was in the race, where he made some comments about the president not being his godfather, but rather being his partner. And that it was Adebayo, former governor, and the former minister of trade, who actually facilitated his becoming governor, and that he went to just see Asiwaju and he gave him support like every other person.
So that could have counted against him.
Because you see, some of these things are also very, very critical. You see, when you have 5-6 people qualified for something, just like Ivy League universities, what they do is, oh, does he speak another language? Are his parents very rich? Oh, what about? Sometimes people think it's just the results. Oh, does he do community service? They just begin to look for things.
So the permutations,
So somebody would have said, Mr. President, you remember what this guy said that time?
So that's in itself.
It.
Yes.
Okay. Again, it's important that our listeners understand that this is political roundtable. We are not talking morality here. We are talking practical politics. When we get to the issue of morality, we'll bring it up. But here we are looking at the thinking of the average politician and the way they put these permutations on the table. Now, again, on the list of surprised names that are not on the first list, Bayo Ononuga too. I thought that, he was
we've discussed Bayo Ononuga and whatever, and I told you
from Ogun State.
And let me tell you one thing. Research has shown that Ashwaju used 3 parameters. 1, he sourced through the party. 2, he sourced through relationship.
People he has worked with.
Then 3, he sourced through expertise. One thing there
so
is
don't you think Bayo has...
no, I can't. There is no way I want to take Bayo ahead of Dele Alake. No, there is no way. But one thing there is this. If you look at the both, you will discover that when the release of the essay is going to, you recall that Alake was so unwilling. You see that his body language, even when they met NLC, as a what? The reporter was asking, who is the head of this
delegation?
Team? And he said, he has no head. Nobody is ready to talk at that, but even Oshomole have to back them. Where I'm going is this. What gave Alake that hedge? But I have my reservation on how Alake was on the ministerial list when you've chosen him as a special.
But I'm coming. Let me just have the entire names. I'm going to allow you.
I think there's something that may be playing on the mind of the president. Don't forget that this is a president that wants a legacy.
Yes.
And he wants to unite the country and move everybody in one direction. Given the issues that happened before the elections. And don't forget that Bayo put out a tweet that was very bad. A tweet, that even the president himself, I heard, cringed at, given his precedent. I mean, his antecedent. Yes, because he is somebody who wants to pull people together. And for someone close to him to put out such a tweet. So he probably didn't want
and Alake has not said something worse more than that.
Yes, that could have come.
And Alake has not said what is more than that.
That with the relationship.
Let me tell you something.
Alake has said what's more than that though.
Maybe not in the public.
No, it may not be in that way. But there are some certain things that he also critical, especially after the presidential election.
The difference between Alake and Bayo is that Alake is an expert firefighter after starting the fire.
Yes.
He's an arsonist who pretends to be a firefighter.
Yes.
And he combines both roles very well.
He attacks and defends at the same time.
But Bayo attacks without remembering to cover his back.
No, he's an attacker, fully attacker.
So because you see, if you look at the way the results panned out, like I said here sometimes ago, those who didn't vote for the president are more than those who voted for him. When you put the
old figures together.
And if you have your eyes on trying to unite the country and move everybody in one direction, you're also going to be very careful and sensitive about those you pick to govern with you.
Okay, well,
when it comes to communication,
and information management.
But in terms of policy, communication policy, planning and whatever, Bayo is ahead of Alake. He's ahead. In terms of model, the reason why I'm saying this? No, they have of different templates. We all know. Bayo still undo some part of PR. Alake is thoroughly, majorly when you want to use journalism. But when that's why you see that in administration of media houses, you can't compare Alake with Bayo.
Okay, well again, I'm sure. That's the thing. Wait. I'm sure that people would always argue that this is debatable between Bayo Ononuga and Dele. These are all successful journalists, media people, and communication experts. But again, it was a surprise that we didn't get his name. Senator Ibikunle Amosun. Anybody surprised?
He can never be on that list.
No surprises.
He can never be on that list.
He stepped down during the primaries.
He can never be on that list.
Okay, so no surprises.
Even Fanika Yode can never smell the seat. He has not done much to end that. Which state is he going to represent?
There were
okay.
I'm coming. Yes.
There were people who stepped down
yes.
voluntarily because they believed in the vision of the man. There were those who were forced
to step down. So that could have counted
by
too.
what he had on offer.
Well, the woman that the only woman that contested, and I remembered in her stepping down speech, who said, "Look, Ashwaji is my father, is my political mentor. I can't."
And he bought the form.
And but she
bought the form.
So she already on the list. So that could have counted. So I'm just trying to agree. She's on the list.
She's on the list.
She's on the list. So I'm just saying what Bystander Curtis has said.
What favors that woman is
the one from Anambra.
That was Nancy,
yeah.
The reason why she was on that list was because of two things. One of the things that Ashwalu wants to justify is inclusion of women. And at that particular
there are so many women.
But at that particular time, consider the states that she's coming from.
Anambra, yes.
And another thing again is that when you have to look for those people that are playing the card up there, you know at times you want to look at that Anambra. Especially, don't forget that Peter Obi come from Anambra.
No, what we are saying is
all those things and those people that are also playing the card for her could be very, very big for her to get it.
If it's on the basis of performance, nobody from the southeast deserves to be minister in his cabinet.
The results that came out from the southeast.
But constitutionally, there's no way. Constitutionally, by force itself.
No, but when you're talking about the party
yes.
itself, you know there's what is called affirmative action.
Yes.
Forget that the U.S. Supreme Court now says we don't need it for admission. But the truth of the matter is that, like he said, the major consideration for that lady getting in. Don't forget that the women were given concessionary rate for their forms.
For their forms, yes.
Unlike men.
Yes.
And we knew how some of them were able to get the forms. And why they had
the undercurrents, yeah.
Undercurrents. So there are a lot of forces.
Okay, I want to exhaust this list. This is my own list again.
Your name is there.
Akinwumi Ambody.
No.
I like to, Mr. Oni. What do you think about Akinwumi Ambody? People are already speculating that it could just be the Lagos choice.
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
If you're asking for Lagos
choice, yeah.
Abiru towards the list of.
Abiru is a senator already.
Yes, now.
So you mean Abiru has contributed to the party even more than anybody?
Loyalty
to the party.
So how can
he's a party person, so let's
all
right.
What he said, in fact, I've never thought about it because I was expecting to see clarifying automatically. Some people were saying Adeyemi also, the swagger leader.
Yeah.
So if you say Akinwumi Ambody, if I'm the president, I can't pick Akinwumi Ambody because of what they have.
But we've seen pictures of him appearing in public with the governor. He met with the president. Just for the optics.
I think there's something we are missing here. After he won the election, it is not everybody that came around him that are rated the same. There are those who never got close to him until they saw clearly
that was going to win.
Yes.
Okay, so that counted too.
There were those who put their eggs in his basket when they didn't know what was going to
happen.
Yes. So he's not going to rate them
the same way.
That's what you see. Now, yes, there are some overtures to Ambody, or Ambody is also trying to reach out to him.
Get back to the base.
That doesn't mean that what happened in the past between them. Don't forget that this is a new administration. He wants to go in there with those that he has absolute confidence and trust in them to deliver for him. So let's see. We don't know. Maybe the next list somebody might be there, he might not be there. But I'll be surprised if his name is
Senator Rabiu Kwankwanso.
No, that one cannot take ministerial policy. He can't take even if it's being given.
You will not take it?
He will give it to somebody.
You think so?
I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you. I'm coming. I know he's a politician. Wait.
Why do you think he will give it to someone?
Let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
Kwankwaso that we know is a kind of a politician, irrespective of all the posts he has already gotten in his life. He's not extremely
ambitious.
It's not extremely that I have to get this.
But don't you think the relationship with Asiwaju could count and make him?
No, I didn't say he cannot get a slot. He cannot get a slot. But
You are not saying
will not be a minister. And this particular time.
Do you know the person who is not ambitious? It's for hard.
I just want to sit down here, do my job, and leave.
No, what I mean is that it's not somebody that
I just want to do my job, but not as a minister.
I'm being ambitious.
Nobody runs for president if he's not ambitious.
No, the ambitious that I'm talking about is that he's not going to the land. If you know his movement,
yes.
If you know his movement, how he won the election to be governor in Kano State, how he lost to Shekarau, then how he went to the to be a minister at that particular time, taking Ganduje along and returning him back at that particular time. And one thing there is that there is some certain ambience around him. Immediately he has a kind of patchy relationship with Bola Ahmed Tinubu that he's going to get something, and when he's going to get something, he has some 2 or 3 men that is already
so you think
but his slot can go to his camp, but I'm not seeing him to be a minister.
Okay, well, we'll wait to see. Again, we are still accepting 14 names, about 14 more names
Yes.
to surface.
And Kano is part of it.
We've talked about James Falike, Bello Matawale, the immediate past governor of Zamfara State. It's also a name that people even call him Ashiwaju boy.
In that particular state, don't let us lie to ourselves.
No name has come out from that state.
Yes, in that particular state, if they want to list 10 loyal members of APC in that particular state.
Again, not even the party now, because the party.
I understand. No,
I'm talking of to Ashiwaju, the president.
I'm
now,
coming to that particular, those people in that state of APC. And if you want to look at those people that are loyal to Ashiwaju in that particular state, you can put Matawale there, but he won't be the first.
Who you think will be the first?
He won't be the first. For the fact that he lost an election.
Zonal chairman of his campaign. However, I think there is an issue we're not looking at. His part with the EFCC.
Yes. Okay. Maybe that could count.
No, if it is back with EFCC.
That's the problem.
If it is back with EFCC, to politicians, according to one particular politician, he said, EFCC inviting you or going there, it's just to go and get yourself on allegation.
Again, like Mr. Oni said, some of these guys have visited the DSS, and it could have counted against them that, look, you have a pending case.
If it is pending case,
because of this.
This is what I think. Most Nigerians believe that if you don't go to the EFCC today, as a former governor, you have no badge of honor in court. You know that you didn't do your job well. In the context of
if you do your job well, you must be invited. Or you must have visited that place. Okay.
So how did his job well?
Well, we'll see. I've then invited him. Then he did his job well. So what happens is, I think we are going to see a lot of movement in that area because increasingly we are seeing the weakening of the EFCC when it comes to fighting corruption.
At least in the last 60 or more days. Yeah.
Because you see, what people do not understand is that I see a president who is struggling to break away from the past. You understand? He also doesn't have, when you talk about corruption and reputation,
there's a lot hanging around him.
He's also hanging around. So he wants to be very careful about that. If I can avoid, because to be frank, there are other jobs he can give to these guys. They don't have to be ministers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
He can even give them board chairmen.
Yes.
Some of them can be sent abroad as ambassadors.
That is even more lucrative, independent than being a minister.
Even though when you become ambassadors, you lose hold of the local.
Locally, you become a bit irrelevant.
Maybe for the first.
But it's for the pension now.
He needs to do something.
It's a political pension. So
okay. Well, again, it's Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. We're looking at the ministerial list by the president and, of course, the major talking points around it. Yeah.
I think that we should begin to start thinking. Maybe how we cut down the list of ministers in this country.
We're going to get there. We're going to get to the list, especially when we talk about merging and creation of new ministries. We're going to onboarding and all of that. But again, we're streaming the show live on Facebook, Mainland 98.3 FM. You can watch the show live on Facebook. Barrister Curtis Adigba is here in the studio. Oni Olalekon, APC member, political analyst, is also here with us in the studio. Nuruddin Adegbero is also here with us in the studio. And of course, we're looking at two major talking points that we're going to consider on the table this evening. The first one, the list and the issues around it. We have been looking at surprise names that we are taught to make the list. I'll lump these two together so that we can move to the next issue. Well, Dayo Israel.
I thought about Dayo Israel that he was going to make it.
As one of the youths that will probably
about Felix Moka, the party spokesperson. You understand?
Dayo Israel, is it from Lagos?
Yes, Dayo Israel.
Does he claim Lagos?
I think so.
It will be tough.
And don't forget that he has had Abdullah to his name.
Yeah, that would not count. But again, Boyega Oyetola from Osun State, I thought that, with his relationship with the president, the fact that he just lost an election and all of that, that could have...
that would have been troubling for him.
Osun doesn't have a nominee yet.
But I don't think he will go for Oyetola. Given the setup in that place. As a former governor, there are other things they can. They are close personally. And we want to avoid that. That's not disqualifying. But I think that he probably will. And that's why his name didn't come out in the first place.
In the first place, yeah.
The candidate, the candidate or the person that we made from Osun will likely be the person that Baba
Biasa Kone nominates. Yeah. Okay, well, let's move to the real issue now, the real deal. We've looked at the names, we looked at surprises and all of that. Now, there are concerns that, for the first time we should be getting a list submitted to the Senate. It took the last day of, the life of the Senate, on the first half, for the president, to fulfill the constitutional requirement of sending ministerial nominees to the Senate. Well, luckily, the Senate has said that they are cancelling their recess to start screening as from Monday. But there are questions as to what kind of screening we are going to get at this time. We are going to get there. There are people who feel that, look, at least for the first time, we should have names of ministers sent to the Senate with portfolios attached. In the course of my research, I had to go through several countries of the world where, presidents are elected, names are submitted for screening. I think the easiest model we can use is the United States of America. And I see that, look, even before inauguration, they have their list intact. Not just list of nominees, but with portfolio.
I can explain that to you.
I'm going to get there. So one had thought that, look, this was going to be a different scenario. And luckily, journalists had put this to the chief of staff, who brought the names to Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president, for reading on the floor. And the excuse he gave is one that a lot of political analysts have also questioned whether, he just said it because he needed to say something, really. Because what he said basically was that, the fact that, no, it's an ideal thing to do, it's something that is reasonable to do, but they did this because they want to follow the old tradition of doing things. Second, that, look, they want a situation where the Senate is also allowed to tinker a bit with the list. And then the third one, which got a lot of people shocked, really, was the fact that, look, if the president decides to change his mind, adding portfolio to it to make it extremely difficult, because what will now happen is that he now has to send the name again to the Senate for confirmation. So again, let's look at what we have, Barrister Curtis. I'm going to start with you before I get to Mr. Oni. Why do you think that we can't just, because you've said that the president is trying to do away with the past, why don't you think we should have just used the model of having portfolios attached with names of nominees?
I think he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
And it's not because of any reasons that the chief of staff gave.
Okay.
He simply didn't want to do it. Now, like you observed in the United States, the president-elect, even before he's sworn in, all right, will nominate the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, and the Attorney General.
Even before swearing in?
Even before swearing in. In fact, there is a waiver that is given to these two people, Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense, because there must be no vacuum in these two areas.
Yeah.
So, as soon as he takes the office, right, that letter goes to the Senate immediately, and those guys will be sworn in. Because there must be no vacuum there.
Especially when it comes to defense, security, and all that, yeah.
And don't want to forget that unlike what we do here, where the president will have to collect names and send to the Senate for approval at once, that's not what is done in the United States. You see, the president, even before he was sworn in, look at the case of Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yeah.
Periodically, he will come out for a press conference and then he says, I have nominated X, Y, Z for this position.
Yeah.
He will bring them and they will address the press.
With the position and their names, yeah.
And they will make questions and then they'll go. Then the Senate will set a date to start interviewing them. Meanwhile, before that is done, these nominees will go around and visit all the senators, where they'll be asked a lot of questions before they are now referred to the
committees, yeah, the subcommittees, yeah.
The committee will hear them and then pass a motion and bring it to the General House for vote. Now, he could have done that. He could have done that just like he sent those few names to the National
Assembly. Type portfolio to them.
He could have said, look, I am doing this. This is my candidate for Attorney General. This is my candidate for finance,
yeah.
And all that. And then I want them. So, but you see, I think to some extent, it's also incapacitated by the Constitution and by the culture and practice of our democracy, which he didn't want to change at this moment. I think that as we move ahead, we probably will do that. But I don't believe in the excuse, or the excuses given by
the chief of staff.
Yes, because you see, even if the president attached portfolios and
to all these names,
and the Senate approved
all of them as ministers,
the president, even when they are sworn into office, can still reshuffle his cabinet
without going back to the Senate.
So once the approval had been given, okay, he can do whatever he wants to. He can tinker with that list even before the public announcement is made as to who and who will be sworn in for that position.
All right, Mr. Oni, what do you think would happen? What kind of screening are we then going to see? Because again, we've seen past screenings, and I think to a great extent, if you permit me to use it, it's just be jokes and more of comedy, bow and go. A few ones where you have people really being grilled, maybe Fashola and a few bright heads who got real grilling at the floor of the Senate. But a lot of times has always been, just bow and go, especially for former senators and House of Reps members. But now, when I thought that, look, with the portfolio attached, we are going to see proper screening where the right questions will be asked. Although the spokesperson of the Senate has been saying that, look, it's not going to be business as usual, the screening will be tough and all of that. Even if it takes a whole day to screen one person, they will do that. But there are people who have said that, look, you can use 5 hours to screen somebody and still be asking the wrong questions, especially when you don't know what you're working with. You are a member of the APC. Do you think we're going to see another charade as far as screening is concerned?
Well, first of all, let me say that I felt, even as a member of the party, I felt a bit disappointed that the list came very late.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, just like we've analyzed in some quarters that the names you have on that list, they are not people who came from
Mars or from Pluto. No, yes.
And people would know which energies from the State, a governorship candidate. He didn't travel. He was around and all of that. Before the swearing, I think we had 90 days, or how many days before swearing?
Yeah, which is February was the election, so yes.
And again, after the swearing,
60 days again.
60 days. So 90 plus 60 is 150. That's the whole.
This can only come from you. If some of us say it, they say we hate.
No, it's not it. So I felt, personally, I felt a bit disappointed because I was expecting that, on May 29, I was expecting that Ashwaju will announce some names.
Some names, because February was when the election.
I was watching his speech and I was testing somebody, and please, I hope that Ashwaju will announce some names. At least finance, and some of these key ministries and ministers, but alas, we had to wait, and that gave room for speculations, that gave room for a whole lot of lobbying and all of that. Then at the end of the day, we had the same names that were expected. I usually say that I want Betrayal to be on the list from Cross River.
My name was removed. Don't say you have the same list.
So I wanted, so at the end of the day, we had the same report. As regards screening, just like the spokesperson of the Senate has said, let's expect that we'll have something very different this time.
But you don't like the fact that the portfolio was not attached to portfolio.
Yes, because what are they screening on? Okay, for example, now Betrayal is a doctor. You might be asking at the end of the actually might give our Minister of Women and
which is not even related to someone that.
So if you are questioning her on at the end of the day, she will be the Minister of Women Affairs. So at the end of the day,
whatever question you asked her was just a waste of time.
Yes.
Nuruddin, what do you think? You're also worried that the NIST didn't come with portfolio?
Well, you know that we have one particular caller. The prayer I always pray before this announcement of this ministerial nominee is that I know that president is going to come with names and also with portfolio. Let me tell you one thing. You know, before the announcement, there are a lot of confusion on the land because of the lobbying. And don't forget, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised a lot of people. You understand now? Both within the party, outside the party. So because of that, there's a lot of pressure. But at this particular time, also, don't forget, there are some power blocks that will always play. In the ministry, you give some certain ministers. Go and check. Ministry of Finance will not just be given to anybody. There are some certain people in that part among the nominees that they could be doctor, but they will not be minister for health.
No, what we are saying, I understand that would definitely happen.
That is one of the reasons that he may not want to attach. For instance, now look at the better edu that he talked about. Former commissioner for health in Cross Rivers, women leader. You understand now? At that particular time, by the time we now maybe. Because you cannot, the way they put all those GUC ministries, you can't put it one geopolitical zone. It's going to be scattered. But their profession, their discipline that they are coming from is also differ. You understand now? So that is one of the things. But one thing there is, I'm not surprised. That is the old way. And you will not want to shy away from that because, like Minister for Agriculture now, it's going to be very, very difficult. If we have a Minister for Agriculture, it's not coming from the north. Either north central or northwest or northeast. So all those ones also matter because there are some blocks that there are some ministries are for some certain blocks. We should not lie.
But if we already have that kind of standard, then the portfolio should have just come instead of wasting time. But again,
always had.
I think that let's give him this opportunity and see what he does. Where it is preferable, there is nothing that compels him to do it.
Yes.
I wanted to ask.
No, there is no law.
The only thing is that it would have been a fresh kind of thing, you know, that for once.
Let's have this.
So that they can be well screened along their positions.
People can be asked specific questions. Okay, look at the last screening. Festus Keyamo talked more about law reforms than the man who is
the Attorney General.
Ministry of Labor.
No, he was given labor. No, before the labor. He was meant to work. He was the one to work with. He was given labor.
That's what I'm saying. That in his screening, he talked more
about law reforms, legal issues. Yeah.
Another legal issues.
Which he didn't even do for the.
But he never got that ministry. So that would have been the only advantage, that the National Assembly could come up with questions that tailor specifically to each ministry. But we don't have that. What we are hoping for now is that at least we will hear serious questions and then get answers for Nigerians. So at least these nominees can be introduced to Nigerians. Because what we don't want is take a bow and go.
No, that one will still happen.
That will happen for people like Mahi.
Senators, both serving and former.
Yes,
he's a standing
of the house, yeah.
So you assume that you already know him. He's a member of the House Chambers. So
even for reps, for House of Reps members too.
You give them that privilege.
Even if that person has not even moved up to 10 bill as a legislator before becoming a minister.
We go. No, we're still going to take the Wike issue. The last one, as far as the Ministerial list is concerned. So we all, I think to a great extent, I can aggregate opinions here that look, we're a bit disappointed that the names didn't come with portfolio. All right, let's go to the last issue. And didn't come on time too.
And it was even not completed.
Well, all of the reality.
Because one thing that we should not shy away from is this: in the law, as stipulated the time, the law may not say it must be completed. But if we are waiting for 60 days, and this is a man that said it's a lifetime ambition, and this is a man that said he has planned for it, and nobody should do it. No, that's the thing. No, that's the thing.
Give him credit.
No credit for not giving all the list of the minister after waiting for that number of days.
Now, one thing.
If there is a rule for 6 months, automatically he has also will have waited for 6 months to have his minister.
Now, Barrister Koti,
because of this law. It took place against Buhari.
Okay, we should get him as against what happened. Okay, but then on the deadline, forget about lifetime ambition. Yes, we are going to rush this, but it's important that we mention this. I was just reading through a particular article written by our friend in the house, who also one of our analysts, DME Saka, and he was talking about meeting the deadline, the 60-day deadline as stipulated by the Constitution, and the fact that the names that he submitted were not complete. And that look, the names that will now, the additional names that will now be submitted are outside the 60-day deadline stipulated by the Constitution, and to him, he thinks that's a violation of the Constitution.
So what is the punishment?
No, but you think there are, but you think there are facts to that too?
You know, part of the problem we have in this country, how our laws are interpreted. What is the operative term? Is it will or shall?
Okay.
If it is shall, it means he must do all within 60 days.
Okay.
If it is will or may, do you understand?
I'm with you. I'm
may. President may.
No, it's not me.
Shall will. You see the problem
It's
now.
not me.
Now, it will.
Oh.
It's not will.
Let's even add
Because they don't use May. If it's going to be 60 days, there won't be May. May will not
But
work.
but he's saying that if it is will.
They might be advisory in the sense that the president may submit to the Senate within 60 days the list of his ministers.
Then he won't be running between the 60 days. Then he won't be talking about meeting the deadline.
It's just
If it is May.
It could be guidance. But what I'm saying is this. You see, there are a lot of ways the president can appoint ministers without saying appointing ministers. He can send a list to the National Assembly to be that he wants to appoint these people as senior special assistant or special assistants, and then once they are cleared by the National Assembly, can upgrade them to be ministers.
Yes.
But the Constitution says that at least one person must come from each state.
Yes.
Which is not complete yet.
Yes. So the thing is, don't forget that I think the way he wants to go, I don't know, but I'm thinking that he probably wants to do it like he's done in the United States. The United States, as big as it is, 50 states, 300 and something million people, they only have 15 cabinet positions. The rest are added, which are heads of departments. You have Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Interior.
That will happen in Nigeria.
Defense.
Politicians will start.
Now,
wait.
Never try that.
Okay, wait. Now, again, the Constitution is even clear about 36 states.
What I'm thinking is that it probably will appoint people to cabinet positions that are operating at the same level.
No problem. But they will still be called minister.
All right, let's quickly touch on this, the second issue, because that's also a very, very important. You see Political Roundtable Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Sahid Fohad. We have Barrister Curtis Adigba in the studio. We have Oni Olalekon in the studio. We have Nodin Adigbero. And of course, we'll be looking at the ministerial list and looking at the talking point around that particular list. Now, we'll go to the second issue. I'm sure this one will be very hot because there's been a lot of... we're live on Facebook. You can drop your comments on what we've discussed so far on our social media platform, Facebook and YouTube. Facebook is Mainland 98.3 FM. You can go there, drop your comments. I'm going to take all of the comments on our social media platform. I'll be rest assured. We're still going to make it interactive. I'm going to open the phone line to also take calls and contribution on the show. But like I said, you can go to Facebook, watch the show live on Facebook, and drop your comments there. We are going to read all the comments. Now, the second issue, Atiku, PDP, and Wike. So much speculation. In fact, I think 2-3 days to when the list was eventually announced, there were media reports, social media reports that Wike had failed DSS screening. Again, like I said, unconfirmed. A lot of us knew there were really no substance to that. But people have said that, he was eventually not going to make the list. But even before the list was announced, there were issues from the APC in Rivers State who had also written to the president saying that they would not accept Wike or the leadership of Wike as far as the APC in Rivers State is concerned. But eventually he made the list. But the PDP has come out to say that, look, he had always been a mole in the house. He has always been a betrayal. That they are not surprised that this was going to happen. And I think there are members of the party who are already calling for his expulsion from the party. We know there's a case in court where Wike had gone to court earlier in the year, praying the court should stop any form of expulsion or suspension from the PDP. But I think in May, a judge also ruled that the PDP can actually expel him, but they must follow all
the
procedures, which I think the judge was specific, give him an opportunity to defend himself. But as it stands, again, like I said, we're looking at politics here, and we're looking at morality here. I'm going to start with you, Barrister Curtis Adigba. Do you think Wike betrayed the PDP, or he just played smart politics?
I would not subscribe to the two. I don't think he's smart. I don't think
he betrayed anybody.
I don't think he betrayed.
So what did he do?
I think what he did was he made a choice. He didn't want the candidate of his party. Don't forget, look, let's go back a little bit. That before the 2023 election, we had southern governors across party lines coming together saying the president must come from
the south.
All right? They met in Asaba, they met in Alausa here, and so many other places. Now, when PDP had the opportunity to zone the presidency in the south, first through the former governor of Tinubu, Ugwani, they said they were going to leave it hanging. And then the autumn committee also failed.
37-man committee, I can't forget that.
Deal with the matter. So that he left hanging. And Wike, when he went around the country, thought he had sufficient number to win the ticket of the party. Until the last moment when Aminu Tambuwa had to pull that coup and meant that Wike lost it. Now, after he lost it, Wike then wanted to be the vice president. Forget about all the deniers. He lobbied so much to be the vice president. And when he didn't get it, he felt he was done. All the talk about Ayu must resign and all that,
Ayu must go,
just cover up. So I wouldn't say, I think he made a choice. He decided that he wanted the Southerner as president, and he was not going to be satisfied by anything. Now, look, there's nothing strange, right, or abnormal in the president elected on the ticket of another party to pick someone else, to pick someone as a minister from the party that he defeated. We've seen it all over the world. And I give you just two examples from the United States. Since you say let's use them as examples. Norman Mineta, a Democrat, was appointed Secretary of Commerce by President Bush. Recently, Robert Gates, a Republican, was appointed by President Obama.
So there's nothing strange about it.
So, but why are we talking about this? It's simply because of the role that Wike played by trying to undermine his party. But then he did that, saying, "Oh, it's because they didn't give my party didn't give ticket to the south." And where the confusion is coming in for most people, he then didn't tie that issue and say it was because a southerner did not get the ticket. He simply said, you cannot have the presidential candidate as a northerner and then the party as a northerner. Forgetting that the PDP had a southern chairman, in which is Secondus,
his own brother,
whom he removed
with all the force.
Which was the one who installed Ayu.
Yes.
He put Ayu there because of his presidential ambition.
Yes.
So in a way, if you look at it from politics, you say, okay, he's a strategic operator. But if you look at it from morality, then you say, oh, it's a horrible thing he did. Because you see, you cannot subscribe to the membership of a political party and then choose to undermine that party. And then go to court and say, even though I have undermined my party,
don't allow them suspend you.
You get another to prevent them from disciplining you. So that's the only problem I see with it. But let me sound a warning here. The president must be extremely careful with Wike. Because you see, my people say that the teeth that the dog used to play with the child is the same teeth he used to bite when he misbehaves.
Okay.
So agreement is agreement.
That's it. Mr. Oni, what do you think?
said a whole lot of things which I agree with. But for the role Wike played in the emergence and the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it will even be a betrayal if he didn't get a ministerial slot.
So you as a member of the APC, you think he did a lot?
A lot.
Even more than the members of the party.
APC ever won
River State.
Check the records. And Wike delivered. In fact, that G5 really helped APC and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because, Autumn was confused. And that's why Benue actually went the way of the APC.
No, he wasn't confused. I'm from Benue, so I can tell you what happened.
He didn't come out for Peter Obi.
No.
Autumn at the state endorsed Peter Obi.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
He didn't come out
He endorsed him openly,
yes,
but he didn't do so willingly. He saw the political
waves. Okay, so he followed the waves.
That's why I said he was confused. He didn't actually look at the way Wike. Everybody knew.
Okay, let me.
But Mr. Wike
he never came out and said it that I'm following
Autumn felt
but his body language and
everybody knew, even though he didn't say it. There were orders to the local government.
Autumn felt that.
Well, there were reports about him giving orders. Yeah.
Autumn felt that if he supported Peter Obi, Obi's supporters in Benue will support his candidate. That was the calculation.
That's a very bad calculation.
The guy was sick and was in the German hospital for so long. He just returned to the country less than 2 months.
So he didn't really understand the political space. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But he could have been guided by what the leader of the G5 was doing.
Exactly.
Because he was with Wike moving around. Why didn't Sheyi Makinde follow the script?
I think you guys are forgetting that there are internal dynamics in each of these states.
Yes.
Don't forget that the first election that Wike won was actually nullified by the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
It took the Supreme Court to bring him back. And the second election,
the same thing.
Don't also forget that Wike was already going. Before there was an intervention. So this whole idea that the APC has never won election in River State,
presidential.
Whether presidential or governorship, is because of
forces, seen and unseen.
Violent forces that plays on the ground. Now, in the case of Benue, all right, when two thief people are fighting themselves because they have the majority.
Yes.
What then happens is the votes coming from Zone C, which is the area where I come from. Do you understand? And majority of our people were going to vote for Obi. In fact, majority of young people in Benue were out for Labour Party. So Autumn felt that
let me ride on that wave.
Yes, if I endorse Atiku or Tinubu, I will have problem. So the only way to get their support is to say, I'm supporting your candidate.
Vote for my governorship.
And then you vote for my
governorship candidate.
But I think the forces of
he lost the two.
And the personality of the Reverend Father,
is
another thing entirely.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you think that we can just play this politics?
Yes, he played this politics, and I think it was strategic. And I think there are some things to learn from Wike. He stood by his word.
Okay.
From the beginning, all Nigerians, every Nigerian knows that Wike was actually working for Asiwaju. And also, as regards the Southern presidency and the zoning
and all of that,
I think he maintained his integrity. That we have said that the presidency should go to the south. Anything outside that, I won't support. I don't know if you had lobbied for vice presidential, no wala, which is not a big deal. And that's why this Delta guy had the vice president of Atiku, Okowa. People were against him and said that guy, we sat down together, we agreed that presidency should go to, and like he rightly said, Delta, there was a meeting in Delta, there was a meeting in Alausa, and different meetings, and all southern governors across party lines agreed that the ticket must come to the south. And that was exactly what Wike stood on, to ensure that whatever happens, presidency.
As a politician, Mr. Oni, what do you think? What do you think the future holds for Nyesom Wike? You are a member of the APC, but I'm sure to a great extent, to a large extent, you know the minds of the average politician. Do you see him defecting to the APC? And if he does that, what do you think members of the APC will be doing with him? What relation do you think he's going to have within the party?
Well, I feel that as time goes on, he might not have a choice than to defect to the APC.
Okay.
Because how easy will it be for him, to be a cabinet member in an APC-led administration and then still remains in the PDP? I don't know how easy, but the way it works is that it will be an addition to the party. So I don't think any
in politics you don't throw anybody away. By
it will be an addition to the party. It will have problems back home. Look at it very well, because look at what Fubara said. I think there was a validating section for years of weekend.
They will reconcile.
And Fubara was saying that if you go, please don't leave me. Fubara was saying that
if you go, don't leave me. Okay.
Go as in, don't forget me, because there are hyenas waiting to devour.
So the Fubara knows he cannot run the state alone.
And Fubara was saying stylishly that it is possible that if you go, I may not follow you, but don't leave me. Don't forget me.
So what does he want to do?
I feel that back home, there will be serious issues.
There will be serious
issues. Because you cannot say, if I have an idea of the Rotimi Amechi, boys and all of that.
They are still on ground.
They still don't agree with whatever APC is doing. And there were issues that before the nomination, there was a press release that the APC in Rivers State has endorsed Wike to take the ministerial slot. And I think a day after, they came out and said, no, there was no endorsement of such. So if you look at, there will definitely be issues. And Wike is emotional intelligence, is people management. I have issues with that. And that's why I agree with Barrister Curtis that the president should be careful with Wike. But the Asiwaju Aiko
can handle him.
Yes.
Okay. Nuruddin Adegbero. All right. We would have to allow Barrister Curtis have an early exit on the show. He has said he will not be able to have a complete time with us on the show. But I think the 1 hour or so. But the 1 hour or so, I think he's been a very, very, But then Nuruddin, we've been talking about Wike. We followed from the primaries all of the issues, and I think at the stage Wike had put two things as options for the PDP to take. It was a matter of take this or you take this. It was about Ayu must go. It got to a point, the only thing Wike and the G5 were saying that, look, Ayu had to go. And that, look, if Ayu exited as chairman of the party, they will return to the fold of the Atiku camp and will support his candidature. Remember on this show, we kept saying it that, look, was Atiku playing the politics well? Trading 5 governors away for the party chairman. So now that eventually what has happened, whether we like it or not, Wike and the G5 were instrumental to how the APC won the elections, although people will say the case is still in court. But what we have today is that the APC has been declared winner. But again, let's talk about politics before we talk about morality here now. Do you think it was just bad politics from the camp of the Atiku camp? Or do you think it was just bad politics again too, indiscipline and anti-party activities from the G5?
Well, it's a mixed thing. Number one, you remember the last time on the roundtable I told you Wike has gone.
From the PDP?
I said he has gone. Even before he was being nominated. I said he has gone. Because, number one, Ayu must go. If Ayu should left at that particular time, another vice national chairman from the north will replace him.
Well, there could have been maybe
no. That is what the constitution of the party said, of the PDP party said. It's just the same thing with the one of the APC. So that one is one. Then two is this. Atiku weigh his option. And the option that he took, that fine. You remember that he didn't have his campaign in Rivers State because he said he didn't want lots of lives.
Of course, there were issues about coming to Rivers State. Yeah.
He weigh it and look at it that, okay, let's weigh these people. Their weight in their state. Does it normal? Does it even?
But you, as a political watcher, maybe put yourself in the position of Atiku at that time. Do you think it was right for him to have traded 5 governors for the interest? Now the chairman is even gone, whether suspended or he's gone. So do you think it was a wise political choice to have traded the 5 governors, for the chairman?
Because Atiku himself knew that this election is very, very close with the wave of.
So don't you think he should have worked more with the 5 governors considered?
What would have done? One thing is this: he has three things to battle with. Number one is the constitution. For the fact that he's the presidential candidate of the party, he can't remove IU. No, constitutionally.
But there are people who think he has a lot of influence.
Yes, but he can't. At that particular time, he can't.
But he has influence over.
He has influence. But the thing that he will have done is this: politician is always about votes. If I should stay with IU, how many votes am I going to get from those 5 states?
Against 5 governors?
Against 5 governors. So he ought to have weighed, because you need votes. Yes. You don't even need the governors per se, and you don't even need IU per se. You need the vote that will come from that particular state. That state, it should be
through the governors.
No,
mostly through the governor. They have to work for the party.
In Lagos here, Labour Party won presidential in Lagos.
It could have been worse if there was no governor working.
I'm coming. Forget about it. What INEC declared, Labour Party won Lagos State during the presidential. What I'm now saying is this, and Labour Party did not even have one person as an office holder in Lagos State.
But there are people working.
There are some certain governors. No, there are some certain governors. They are not valuable to that extent.
No.
But somebody like Wike,
politically, no, sir.
there are some that are not weight like what they
no.
I'm coming. Like
I'm going to get to Mr.
Like Wike, for instance, now.
He doesn't have a political value.
With somebody that have the numbers of people from your party, that is overwhelmingly the leader in that particular party. That even the opposition have been put to the background in the state. Consider the number of assembly members, number of House of Rep members. You understand now? Automatically you need to weigh that particular angles. Then other ones also.
Seyi Makinde in Oyo State.
Then Seyi Makinde in Oyo State, from the beginning, he knew the body language of Seyi Makinde, considering that when Asiwaju visited Oyo for campaign.
No, Rudin. We had a G5.
Yes.
That were working together. Yes. Because we need to put into proper perspective.
Yes.
And they had a singular demand.
Yes.
That IU must go. That was their demand.
Yes.
And they said that, look, if that happened, they will be ready again to come back to the Atiku camp and work for the party. Now, the question I'm asking you is this. These were 5 governors, no matter what you think. Do you think it was intelligent for the Atiku camp to have traded the interest of IU, the chairman of the party, to that of 5 governors?
It's a big no, considering the number of votes coming from those particular states. Because it's about vote for you as a presidential candidate. Not even the governors, not even the IU now. The votes that will come from that particular state. Then another thing again is this. For Wike, I must confess that Wike in this scenario is smarter, considering the situation on ground among the Labour Party, PDP. Don't forget at the particular time he was weighing it. You remember when some certain governor visited him, that he has some certain journalists to ambush them at that particular time.
We've moved past.
I know where I'm going is this. At that particular time, he was still weighing, giving the window to open. At that part, but in the all situation, one, he makes sure that his governorship candidate won. He makes sure that he makes sure that his men, majorly, they came back. He has achieved that political aim. 2, that he won the power to return to the south, either from his interest or anything. He achieved that. Now he's a ministerial nominee. So by the time you look at the plus on his side, you take it from the angle that he's smarter. Then another thing again is a betrayal. If you want to talk about betrayal, don't even talk it in politics. Every politician is a betrayer. It's about interest. They can betray anything so far their interest is not with that particular thing. So anybody calling him a betrayer is talking about morality, is not talking about politics.
Okay.
Because in politics you can trade anybody. Don't forget, even at the particular time that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knew that Ribadu could not win a presidential election at that particular time. You understand now? One way or the other, he still throwing him on the board as presidential candidate of the party, and he knew at that particular time that he will not win the election. So at that particular time, you should be able to know every politician.
Okay.
It's a betrayal.
Well, okay, we're going to open the phone lines. Like I said, we are streaming the show live on Facebook, Mainland FM 98.3. You can go on our social media platform, drop your comments and contribution. I'm going to start to read them very, very soon. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, Mainland 98.3 FM, and also drop your comments there. I'm going to open the phone lines shortly, but I need to talk to the politician in the house. Again, if you think that it was just smart politics from Wike and the fact that Atiku didn't just play his cards right. Yes. But there's in the Southwest, let's look at the Southwest, Seyi Makinde is still in the PDP. He's a governor from that state. Well, we may say Wike is closer to coming over to the APC. But I need to ask you about Seyi Makinde. We're talking about Southwest politics now. What do you think will be the future for him?
Well, personally, I've analyzed this in my corner, and I've told people that we are expecting Seyi Makinde in the APC. It will not be immediate, but I know that towards the end of his tenure, he will definitely align with the APC.
Okay, let me ask you the other three members of the G5. If Gwai, Ipeazu, okay, you don't want losers.
That they are not vulnerable.
But don't you think the APC is becoming?
No,
so you don't want them.
If they are vulnerable,
coming to do.
Okay, so
no, but Wike was also out of the office. That means they were not vulnerable.
He was able to deliver his governor.
But they are not vulnerable.
That's what he said. That's what he said. You are not a. No, are you a member of the APC?
I'm not. But that means
let him speak for the party.
They are governorship candidates.
Doesn't have a state again.
Yes.
If I go and
doesn't have a state.
He doesn't.
He's nowhere.
Okay, that means they are not valuable in
no,
politics. That is the thing.
Once you are out of office, if you don't have anything.
That means you are valuable.
No, wait. Politics is local.
Yes.
When it comes to local politics in Rivers,
yes,
Wike is still
delivered.
Very valuable.
That is what we're saying.
Now, you know. So, well, no, you were saying that Atiku scenario during that presidential election. All the G5 governors were valuable. PDP would have gotten more votes, even in Benue as autumn is, as weak as autumn is, if Atiku would have found a way to say, okay, your demands G5, we are going to do it. We are going to meet it. And that's how, in fact, do you know that some PDP guys in Rivers, even after sending Ayu out of office, some PDP guys would have backed out of Wike because, okay, you were asking that Ayu should go. And let's now assume that Wike now say after Ayu has gone, I'm still saying that I'm not supporting Atiku. Some people would have said, but you said you just wanted Ayu out. Ayu is out. Why?
What else do you want?
You know, so some guys in Rivers would have even supported Atiku because Wike's or G5 demands were met. So if you look at my own analysis about Seyi Makinde, I see Seyi Makinde coming back to the APC maybe around 2026 because by Adelabu, the Ministerial nominee from Oyo State, governorship will through, probably by 2027. So it's able.
Okay.
The agreement will have been met and say, let Bayo run, then you become the minister.
No, before just 1 minute, because I'm going to open the phone lines now. What happened to Teslim Folari? We forgot him on the names of the ministers.
Not everybody will become a minister.
Okay, so you are not surprised I didn't make the list. Adelabu is not currently a member of the APC. What happened?
Everybody is a minister.
No. What I'm saying is that Adelabu is not a member of the APC currently as we speak.
Adelabu is Asiwaju's boy.
Okay, so that could have counted for him.
Right. I don't know. Maybe I was telling people that Adelabu will make the list. I'm serious. Maybe Florence Ajuma
ahead of a member of the party.
We know that Folari will not become the minister. Or your people knows.
Okay.
How?
All right. Okay. Again, you know, politicians still.
When you are not, if you are leaving your governorship candidate in a gubernatorial election and somebody that left the party maybe because of internal rankings yes we know but we are saying this on the level of the moral
government of national competence.
You know that is what I'm saying. We now leave it on morality. You now pick a governorship candidate of another party,
Accord party,
that work against your own party.
So
that's
no in politics. Well, anyways, now wait. Well, again.
How?
Practical politics here. No, then I'm sure you know this. Sometimes candidates come out to deplete the numbers of opponents. So I'm sure you know that.
Yes,
Depleting the politics. All right. It's still Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. We had Barrister Curtis Adiba join us, and we've looked at the ministerial list and the talking points from that list. We've also been talking about the PDP, Atiku, and the Wike issue, whether it was just smart politics or whether he betrayed the party. And of course, the future of the G5 governors as far as their relationship with the PDP is concerned, and also the APC. The phone line is open, 09136 0000410, 09136 410. You can also drop your comments on our Facebook platform, which is Mainland FM 98.3. Hello, good evening. All right, 09136 0000410. Like I promised, I'm going to take all the contributions from our Facebook platform. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Wike, calling from Ijumo.
You need to turn down the volume of your radio. Hello, Che? Hello? Okay, I think we lost that call. 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening. I can hear you.
Yes. My greeting to everybody there. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you. Your name and where are you calling from? Your
Austin,
name.
I'm Austin calling from a job.
Okay, Austin.
Yes. On all the analysis that you guys have made, well, Wike, did they really deliver Rivers State? I think I beg to differ.
Okay.
Because according to prime time, say it did not deliver that state, but some topper hand on top did so. Now on the cabinet, I still want to ask, what about some governors that are yet to submit their own? If at all the constitution says shall, may, or whatever, there should be a kind of penalty. Because except you are doing it batch by batch, does the constitution also say that you can do it batch by batch?
Austin, I'm sure
Austin,
I'm sure if you are following the show, and I think this is not the first time we mentioned it, that unfortunately, we reviewed that part of the constitution. There's no punishment or penalty whatsoever for the names not coming, except that
the legislators taking it.
The governor saying, "No, you've violated the constitution," and I think that can never happen, really.
With the setting now.
With what we have.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and location, sir.
My name is Barry Sazua. I'm calling from Ayabo.
Okay, sir. Please go on, sir.
Yeah, let me quickly talk about Article's chances.
Okay.
Article wasted, miscalculated, and did a very wrong analysis.
Article, okay.
Because you cannot throw away votes or votes coming from 5 states.
5 governors.
Just because of one. Because IU is just one man with one vote. UK and the other 4 governors, they are just one man with massive followers. So I thought he got it wrong and he got the results that served him. That is just my take on it.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Zuaf from Ayobo. 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Prof.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, also.
Good evening.
Firstly, before
your name.
I'm not on the line.
Okay, from mile 12.
From myself.
All right.
It's okay. See, that I hope one of politicians in your midst there, Abi.
We are listening. Go on, no, sir.
I just tell him to tell the group to do normal for our country people. Okay. Now, my take is that concerning the list, don't expect a thing number. And this is what they call it.
We should not expect a clean body. Why?
Yes, because we are talking about the loyalty now. I think it's going to represent Abiru if they pick Abiru for if they nominate Abiru.
Okay.
The way I'm looking at it. And number 2, look at the lawyer. That's what they call it. Hey, that's the part of the political. And number 3, Autumn is not a real politician. If you have just stayed with, he's not a real politician. If you have just stayed with the Labour Party and won the election by Sheikh Shaju, using back and forth like what they call the man, Wike, fine. And concerning our president, he will build his own empire. Just take it like that, because the way they are running this list so that I will use people that I trusted, that are very loyal to me.
All right, thank you.
And look at what he did before. He already built the Senate by, so all right. Let's just put it like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Femi Onosan from mile 12, 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name, sir?
Okay,
Patrick Kokoro from, please go on.
They said that your guest is the APC man. You should speak to the mic. Is he afraid? You are not hearing very well.
Okay. You will do that. Is that your comment?
Coming to the Wike,
yes.
Wike was abusing all of us from the river state. That everybody that have big head, small head, you should put the head. By the end of it, they play game on top of us. They say they win presidency for the APC. It's unfortunately now he's becoming a minister. I don't know how he's going to enjoy the ministry. Your son is a shameful thing. He should cover his face.
But so, Patrick Oko, you think he betrayed the PDP? To you, he betrayed the PDP?
In fact, me that I'm talking to, he betrayed me. He betrayed me. Everybody.
All right, thank you, Patrick Oko.
That guy was abusing all the force. He was abusing all the force from river state.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick Okoro. He thinks we can betray him and everyone. Hello, good evening. Hello. Please turn down the volume of your radio set. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, let's just. All right, let's take comments from our Facebook platform. We have Temple the Prince, who is saying, "Good evening, Mr. Fuad Said and other political panelists. Nice topic tonight. My take concerning the topics are: 1, why was Kano, Lagos, and some states excluded from the sent list? I would like Mr. Oni to answer that. Excluding Festus Keyamo from the ministerial list shows hidden powers in Tinubu government are at work. And then former Vice President Shibaju Camp are being silent from this current government. Mr. Oni, do you think the Shibaju Camp any say in this? None, okay. So straight answer, none. And he's talking about Kano, Lagos, and other states. Why are they excluded? I think we've discussed that more names are still coming.
Lobbying are going on.
I think lobbying, a lot of politics still going on. Then we have Shepard Nwaize, who is saying, "Good evening, beloved family. Ministerial list not completed, not on time, portfolios not attached, and supporters don't say anything wrong with this. The development of Nigeria joining the League of Developed Nations still in waiting." We have Dayo Dada, who is saying, "Good evening, crew. As for the ministerial list, just like at the Bantu song, loyalty na cash and carry, objection and mortuary, everybody get agenda. With their machinery enterprise, is just paddy things. They are those who helped him in his okay. I always have problem with that. Even in the morning with his choice of words. Please, Dada, this is radio. You can always say what you want to say with words that we can read out on radio. But thank you for the contribution. We have Basil Chika, who is saying, President Tinubu, thank you. Ministerial list is merely for compensation to the people who worked for him during the election, and that cannot help his government in this critical time we're in because of numerous challenges facing the country at this time. And on Wike, I believe his conscience will be seriously biting him if he has one, because taking the minister will question. All right, we take his integrity and amount to him going back to his vomit. And little did he know that Tinubu's victory is still being challenged and is likely to. Okay, well, Chika Bene from Trade Fair at Lagos, but there are people who have dug out videos of him in the past calling the party APC all manner of unprintable names. So that's just politics.
Look at it very well. Wike will tell you that he wasn't even supporting the APC. Wike has, reasons why he had supported Tinubu. It is not even about APC in the first place.
Okay.
He said that the presidency must go to the south. Politically, Wike is very smart. I told people that from the beginning, Wike knew where the pendulum would swing as regards the presidential election. In fact, I feel that Wike wouldn't have backed out if Ayu was.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you.
Yes,
He wouldn't
I
have
feel
done
that he would just lose for another excuse and say that I do this again because of what you even said. That the constitution says that even if you had left that time,
it's another
So. Yeah, but it was just an IU thing. You know, he felt betrayed.
He just used that one as a political stick. That's all.
Okay.
Would have supported Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Even if IU had gone.
Even if he had gone.
Okay. Well, okay. We have
remove the next one again.
Okay. We have this comment from our YouTube platform. Emmanuel Okafor is saying Tinubu should be very careful of Wike and Atiku of Wike. And Atiku made a terrible mistake not aligning with the G5 governors. We have Campbell Lewis who is saying to me, both Dele Alaki and Bayo are what I call the Nigerian inter-Amway. I don't know that word really. And he says that means these are task force that planned and recruited the Hutu militia that killed about. I don't know about that. But anyways, you know. All right, 09136 0000410 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Very good evening, Mr. Fuad.
Your radio is on, Prince Wise. You need to bring it down completely.
It's okay now?
Yeah, perfect now.
Mr. Nuruddin and the guy and our guests in the studio, good evening to all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
May God bless all of you.
Amen, sir.
Number one, Wike is not a betrayer. In fact, I see the lesson for Asiwaju as handwork of Almighty God, not human being. We don't support God to put Asiwaju there. Number one, when you done the photo of Obi with Atiku, it's around 14 million. Now, if Obi can part way from Atiku from the one, that's number one. Number two, if as professional as Atiku is when you talk of politics, to enough this only one man, instead of listening to fight for governor, that's God is working there. So finally for me, even though when you see the matter in the court now, most of us can't see and say, and you stole my money in this thing, in that thing, in this thing, in that thing. You're only looking for technicality. So as for the last message, that message you mentioned, Wike can never betray anybody. It's even though out of that 28 list, I rated Wike as number one. What am I saying? We need competent how to handle affairs this country, committed fellow. So we can only make statements while commission projects. What I'm talking about. So, okay, if they make a minister, at the end of the day, he can say, I'm go back to my party, or he don't PDP. So, nothing bad at all. It is the statement they made from day one. We want this thing to go to the south. It has taken it, not have taken it yet. The next, the most betrayal among them is that the government of the Delta State. So, for me, please, let us compensate who have done the fantastic job for the Southerner.
Okay.
Good evening to you.
All right. Good evening, Prince Wise. Before we take another call, let's really take this message from Facebook. And this is Arsene Raphael, who is saying, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Arsene Raphael from Ikeja. I don't see Wike defecting to the APC. However, he will definitely find it difficult serving two masters. His party will do everything to frustrate him. And if he eventually does defect, that will be the end of his political relevance. That message is coming from Arsene, came from Arsene Raphael from Ikeja. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Damilola.
Yes, I greet all the analysts in the studio. Honestly, if I really want to say it in my own way, I think Atiku is a poor political mathematician. Very poor political math. That guy, how can he abandon 5 for 1? At the end, he was the one that dig his own grave. Nobody actually bring down the PDP. He was the one, single-handedly, that brought down the PDP as a party. And Wike is not a smart person. Wike is a political betrayer. And the thing is that whatever it is, he cannot go by an APC.
Because some people have marked him, in fact, some forces within the party have marked him out that this guy, they are focusing on him. He can gain the favor of Mr. President, but he won't be able to make his move as much as he wants within that party. And Umbayo Onanuga and then Adabe, the thing that those guys were the ones that fought against the Vanguard newspaper. And when Steve then, they are, in fact, they know the step they are taking. And they've got what they want. They think that at the end of the war, let's see who will laugh last. They will continue. In fact, those people had strong heads, strong men in media. And they actually jump politics. And they lose their values. They lose the dignity. Good evening.
All right, good evening. 09136000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your radio, please bring down the volume of your radio.
Let me show you that. Sorry. Yeah, Larry Bashir on that.
All right, Larry Bashir.
Yeah. I greet everybody in the studio. Wike matter. Wike to me and the G5. Yes, I see them as noise maker. Because if it was obese Labour Party factors that made PDP lost that election. Okay. And not this.
So, Larry Bashir, you think it was more of the Labour Party than the G5?
I'm telling you. Let us look at the figure. Look at Rivers. How many votes was he able to deliver at the presidential election? Even with talks, whatever that were on ground. Look at even how many votes. Okay, look at Labour. It was that factor that produced that makes PDP lost. Not this okay, what maybe I just make they were not maker, and I keep saying it. But the problem is I don't know why PDP is still holding on to them. Should have just stop them. They have been shut out of the party. I don't know why they are still there. Then whoever that is now, I don't know. They can appoint whoever, nominate whoever as a minister or whatever. But I want to remind them they should remember that something is happening in Niger. And according to former United Nations Secretary General Emeka Arapo, he said the coup plotters in Niger are close to Nigeria. In fact, in my own view, they're already in Nigeria. These people should be very, very, very careful. They should be very, very careful. I'm not an advocate of military, but they should be very, very careful. Nigerians are suffering. Thank you.
Larry Bashir, I think the international community has one voice against coup plotting anywhere in the world. The UN has condemned the coup. ECOWAS, AU, everybody has condemned the coup, and but I think it's not. It can change. Obasanjo era, it happened. The coup plotters were driven out. It happened also.
Did the president go back to be president?
Yes, he was installed.
Which one?
Southern and Principe.
Oh no, the one we know.
He was
this particular one
in Turkey.
If you see the way the politicians are also being beaten, although as a journalist, the worst democracy.
Yes.
Is better than military.
Of course, we need to continue to establish that. It happened in Turkey too. The people against revolted the military.
I've been hearing Nigerians say that it should happen in
Nigeria. No.
Nigerians are just
some of them they know. Some of them it's because of the performance of our politicians. But what it's the performance. Then another thing again is that some of them may not be alive. No. It's because of freedom. It's because of freedom.
We're not talking about.
It's not because of that. I'm telling you. No. You see let me tell you one thing. The only difference
we are not debating military government.
But what is
so let's focus.
State here is this.
Yes.
It's because of the performance of our politicians. But one thing there is that some of us that we are alive during the military era, that the way we are even analyzing issues like this, but if
I go to put performance, a lot of people also tell you that the military created this platform for the mess that we found ourselves now. So, but let's not debate that. Let's not debate that.
If you go inside that one,
wait, let's not debate
what have they done even between 1999 till this? Some people are also going to raise that one too.
But I'm saying that the military didn't do anything.
Yes.
Okay, do you want Abacha?
What do you say?
Would you have wanted Abacha now?
I don't. If it's the price of the petroleum at the
time of Abacha, hello, good evening.
So that's the thing.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Paul.
Yes, my name is Don Peter.
Oh, Don Peter, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I'm calling you now from First Park.
Oh, you are back in Lagos, yeah?
Yes, I'm back to Lagos.
Okay, yes, all right.
Yes, I want to contribute on the subject matter.
Please go on, sir.
You see, when somebody says Wike is a smart politician,
you need to see me where I'm laughing.
Okay.
Wike is not any smart politician.
Okay.
We can tell the whole world who cares to listen that PDP have shared offices and nothing for him. He said the secretary to federal government that they have no war yet have gone to Saraki. This one have gone to Tamboa. This one have gone to this one. And nothing for him. So he was just busy looking for a place where he can be relevant. And then saying that he win the River State. That is still question. They should be very careful of what they are saying because the Rivers election is being contested instead in the court. He did not win any River State. So him telling us that Wike is a smart politician, I think he needs to check it very well. Wike is just looking for where to be relevant.
But
he's just a matchmaker.
Don Peter.
Yes.
For I'm sure you are a politician too.
Yes, 100%.
But for politicians who are saying that whatever Wike has done in politics, the end justifies the means. Do you think that at the end of the day, he was able to put a governor there, even though, like you said, he's still in court, he's gotten a ministerial slot? Do you think at the end of the day, whatever he did is paying off for him?
Let me tell you the truth. Wike did not put any governor there. Southeast, okay, are PDP traditional states.
Okay.
Okay, you can imagine what happened to Akpabio. When he decamped and entered APC, you know what become of him in his state. He only look for, I don't know, by hook or by crook, he see himself into get himself into the Senate again. And that is what will become of Wike if he try enter APC. Believe you me, he will be irrelevant in politics in River State. Just mark what I've just told you.
All right.
He's only trying to play two-faced card now. Okay, he's either there or there. And by the end of the day, it's going to be very difficult for him. So what I'm trying to tell you now is this. It's better he declare where he is. Pop and play. If he's in PDP, let him just say he's in PDP. But if he's telling us that he's in APC, mark my word, Wike political relevance will be nowhere, maybe in the next 4 years. Just watch it.
Okay.
If he then enter APC fully.
Thank you. Thank you, Don Peter. You are welcome back.
The personalities differs when you compare Wike with the current Senate president.
Akpabio.
The personality differs. You know, we have seen how Wike has maneuvered himself to be where
he is now.
Used to be. So the personality differs for me. And like you rightly said, what are politicians? You have said it. Politicians are looking for interest. So if you say that Wike saw that they've shared all the positions, and because of that,
and nothing was going to be given to him.
He's a politician. He's looking for his interest.
He will look for where his interest will be covered.
All right, 091.
That's alone made him a smart politician.
09136 0000410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Please turn down the volume of your radio set, please.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening to everyone in the studio.
Good
evening. Good evening, sir.
Your name, sir?
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from that side.
Okay.
You know, concerning the Wike, you know, Mr. Shuki said he actually won the ticket to come to the south. But the second leg, they didn't put it on. He wants the ticket to come to the south and to be him.
Okay.
Yes, that interest is there. So since he lost out, you know, he became inconsolable. And he wants to ensure that PDP will not get it at all costs. So that was actually what happened. And just like everyone has said, there's nothing special Wike said, Wike did in Rivers as in favor of Ashwaju. You all know what it is, and the case is still in court. So that one is there. So, you know, but on this ministerial list, you know, we have seen the list. And after that, we have been seeing some videos, even that of Rufai, who said it is very, very unfair to him to become a minister. Because he was a minister that for the 3, now come back to be a minister at the 63. So that one is there. Another one is the one under investigation, occulted or something like that, allegedly. And there's another one that was said has been, banned by Supreme Court in one judgment like that from participating in politics. So those are going to be cases we are looking at. So, when you look at all some of the ministers there, I think there's something to be sharing about. But talking about attacking portfolios, You know,
Yes.
one of the things that we condemn or that we complain in the last administration is that ministers were screened without portfolio. So this time around, I think portfolio should be attached because we need to get to the stage where.
Hello, Emmanuel from Waterside. Oh, okay. I think we lost that call. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, Fuad.
Oh, Mr. John, how you doing, sir?
Good, and you?
I'm fine. How is Ogba?
Fine, we are cool.
Right.
My regards to everybody in the studio there.
All right.
Yeah, so to me, he has no pedigree for me to just agree that he's a very bad politician.
Wike, right?
He lacks ideology and principle. Yes, he lacks ideology now. How can you, yes, now, like what we have in the days of Awu, they are believing staying in a particular party based on ideology and principle. He lacks any, because you can't be Esau at the same time you want to be Jacob. You are dining with APC and you are in PDP and you are still there. You are still doing what you are doing. As regards what people talk about Niger, but me to dwell on that.
No, I really don't want us to talk about coup plotters and all of that because again,
I won't talk. I won't just want to talk about it, but I just want to say that you see, I want to marry it to the present constitution of these ministers. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
If you are appointing people based on political patronage and job for the boys, you end up at the end of the day getting bad governance. You don't deliver what the people expect, just like we have seen in the past. You look at the pedigree of those that are there. What good can you think they have done to their people? Of what impact that they created in their various communities?
Okay.
So now good governance is the only panacea to coup. Honestly, that is just it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's just quickly take this. Okay. All right. You want to?
You know, when people ask about the question, the people
on that list, yeah.
What are they? Are they not competent? The fact that somebody is a politician doesn't mean that he's not competent or something.
Okay. All right. Hello. Good evening. Okay. Let's quickly take this message from Facebook. We have Shofola or Kodri or Laiwola. I will say to me, Yeson Wike is just a noisemaker. A true politician will see things politically. The party is bigger than him, so he's trying to hide under Ashwadi because Wike knows what is coming. Well, whatever is coming, we will all see. 09136 000 410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Parad.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Lucky, calling from Yanapraja.
Okay, Lucky, please go on, sir.
I've been listening carefully.
All right, sir.
I don't know what what I understand in this matter is that if you look at people that are praising the Wike is a dribbler, is a DC. Maybe for me they are APC people because they like.
You can't blame them. He worked for them.
Okay, I'm coming. You look at what Mr. Sheudama that called before the other guy. He spoke it up. Check how many votes Wike gets. The truth of the matter, even though if Peter B would have go and contest for PDP, people will not come out to vote. Because majority of the people that came to vote now because of Peter Obi. If you look at Rivers State election, they saw that they will get almost 1 million. I don't know why you see some results when this FCB Peter or something will bring that up for when he comes. There was a plea unit when Labour Party gets almost 120 something. They take it to 15. Who does that? So with all this, what they say, we see all this. So Wike did not keep for Pastor. Wike is nobody. Once you Akodama, when you come up for that PDP, you are nobody. Yeah, because they don't want people there. They don't want people.
So to you, Lucky, you think he will never make that mistake of leaving the PDP? Is that what you're saying?
Me? I'm not a PDP. I was a PDP really, but when Peter B came, when I see because we follow. We follow the good. We listen to not that we don't follow because you push people. They don't push us like that. Me, I was support of when Peter believe a PDP. I say this man can don't know. When I see how the man is talking, I say no. I have to vote for this man. All right. Support. People come out to vote for him.
All right, thank you, Lucky.
That was how Wike was afraid.
All right.
How many votes did he get for APC there? Remove the other one.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Boss.
Yes.
You have me, Mr. Bestman on the line.
Oh, Mr. Desmond, how are you doing?
Oh, long time, sir.
Yes, long time. Please go on. Where are you calling from this evening?
I'm calling you from Celeste for now.
Okay, please go on.
Wike. You know, I called this program one time in the morning. I said Wike should be careful so that he will not destroy his political career.
But you know, sir, everything seems to be looking good for him now.
I called and I told him he should be careful. Okay, now he have run around now. I was his supporter. I was supporting Wike because all Sarakis and then I think everybody left PDP for him, and he was the backbone of the PDP, and I will take care of PDP. And then the party came back again. All the Saraki and Co, they came back. Just a little bit patient and follow the party, support the party. We those who love you, who support you, who will support you, will get to where you are going. But now you are destroying yourself. Because me, as I'm talking to you, I cannot support Wike again.
Okay.
Never and ever.
All right, sir. He has lost. So Wike has lost one supporter.
And he can never win any ambition that he's pursuing. He can never get it again.
All right.
With this that we have just done,
all right.
He has finished himself.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, one supporter down. As far as the case goes. Thank you so much, sir. Desmond. All right. 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Maga.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, Timothy calling you from Maga.
Oh, Timothy, how are you doing, sir?
Fine, sir.
Yes.
You people are making a fantastic submission this evening.
Thank you.
Concerning Wike issue, you remember at the time we all traveled to London to have meeting.
Yeah.
You scratch my back, I scratch your back. It's one of the bargain. You need to see. As other people have been saying, as well, you should be careful with Wike. But one thing I believe, that's how a time will come that you will do a with Wike. Because after court cases, I'm telling you, bet my word, after he has succeeded, if God makes it that he succeeds, after court cases, he will do away with Wike. Because if you don't want to compensate Wike now, you know what Wike can do? Wike is a spoiler. Are you with me? And that is just one side. Wike will not last with Aswaju. That is, he will do something that will make him to be expelled from the cabinet. That's number one. And concerning the list, I'm not too surprised because we saw a person that told us that he will continue the legacy of Tinubu, Buhari. See, okay, the trajectory of governance is supposed to change now. Okay, you want to bring people that want to work with you. We don't know their portfolio. How can they speak them properly? Ask them the respective questions they're supposed to ask. You that is good for this ministry, what are you going to do? And at the end of the day, now, you just see everything, you say the other form of duties. For me, I'm not having any hope on this government because there's nothing they will do that will surprise me.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Timothy. All right, I think we have this message here from Emeka, no location. It's a ministerial list of compensation. Mr. Fuad and Pine, if I should ask, because I stepped down as a candidate for another, does that qualify me for minister? If I've been a minister for health and even Mr. President couldn't treat himself here, then why should I be reappointed? A governor working against his own candidate, does that qualify me for him as minister? If I already appointed and again nominated, what can we call that? We have a long way to go in this country, and that's from Emeka. Okay, we'll take one or two more calls and then we'll just wrap it up with my analyst in the studio here. Hello, good evening. 09136 0000410. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, I think the lines are acting up. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Fuad?
Yes.
Okay, how are you today?
Very fine, sir. Barrister Peter.
Yeah, Barrister Peter Oku.
All right.
Yeah, God bless you.
Amen.
On the issues you guys are discussing, it's quite interesting. But what really bothers me is that in this whole thing, where does the people come in? That is the common man. Where do we come in here? You know, because it's like this was the point about themselves. You know, yeah. So that it really bothers me because it's the same thing as happened in the previous administration. And I was very hopeful that Ashwaju being a complete politician, not like well, let's say
Buhari, President Buhari.
Yeah, you know, so I don't know. I strongly advise Ashwaju that expectations are very high, you know, for him. Because Nigerians are suffering untold hardship, you know.
All right.
He should go after the ministers of Buhari, or 80 years ministry. They looted this country to the bone marrow. He should go after them.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. I think that will be the last call for the day. But, Mr. Oni, I think it would be unfair not to allow you talk to Nigerians. As a member of the APC, the stakes are high, very, very high. There are people who think the president is having a false start. But to you, are you still hopeful? Out there, people are not smiling. I'm sure you know.
The truth is, for me, everybody is hopeful. As long as you're alive, there is always hope. But you see, when we hear some of these comments, we know where they are coming from.
You think it's still about politics?
Wait now. Yes. You've heard people saying that Ashwaju there's a court case. Ashwaju knows what he's doing. He knows that.
But beyond all of that, there are genuine concerns from ordinary Nigerians about the suffering.
There are genuine concerns, you know. But there are some when you hear them, you just know.
But for the let's address the genuine concerns.
The genuine concerns are very good because there is inflation in town, you know. And some of the decisions economic decisions that have been made by this government are justifiable. And we know, everybody knows that everybody supported subsidy. I'm saying everybody supported subsidy because all
subsidy removal.
Subsidy removal. All presidential candidates, everybody voted for at least the 4 major contenders said.
All right, because there's no time, because we need to leave the studio now. But you think that your president, the president of the country, Ashwaju Bola will get it right?
Yes.
You think he will get it right?
At the end of the day, Nigerians will rejoice for the economic policies and decisions he has made.
All right, 1 minute, Nuruddin. What do you think? Governance.
My own is that, thank God that I'm not a politician, so he can talk like a politician. My own is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to quickly give succor to Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering.
I agree with you.
The pump price is so high. Whatever he wants to do,
he needs to do something quickly.
He needs to do something.
Even
bring it a little bit down. It's going to make Nigerians to smile. He should do that. Then too, the issue of food inflation. People are not talking about it. So he needs to do something because Yoruba used to say T-A-B. Tobacco ninu ishe. By the time you are being well fed, then you
at least half of your problem is solved.
Then another one again that is so germane. If you look at the current foreign currency against our own naira, our economy is not smiling. He should try much as thank God that he has put the minister together. We don't know when they are going to be sworn in because they are not complete yet. But one thing that is going to, the economy is going down. He needs to rescue it because if these inflations go like this for the next 6 months, what it means is that we may have a dollar that we are going to exchange for 1,000 naira.
Oh, for that, God forbid that, like we say in the street. But thank you so much. Mr. Olalekon Oni, a member of the APC and a political analyst, for joining us in the studio this evening. Thank you so much, Nuruddin Adigberu, for also being with us in the studio. Barrister Curtis was also a part of the show. We'll try to connect to Joseph Folorunshor, but I think the lines were just active. But I think this has been a fantastic conversation this evening on Political Roundtable, Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Sahid Fuhad. Let's do this again next week.